Unions representing SABC workers have given the public broadcaster 48 hours to respond to demands. The Communication Workers Union is calling for the SABC board to be removed. It says the embattled public broadcaster should be placed under administration. The SABC, as you well know, has been struggling to stay afloat and wants to retrench at least 300 employees. The CWU, the Communication Workers Union, and a second union, BEMAWU, have served a notice to strike from tomorrow. Live now to Auckland Park, eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is working that story for us. And with you, Manqoba, good afternoon to you, is Aubrey Chabalala, who is with the CWU.
Indeed, Jeremy, the workers preparing to go to the streets tomorrow, of course, as they start the strike at the public broadcaster. The union saying that they have now served the SABC with their intention to go on strike, and they will be starting their strike action from tomorrow with the march to the union buildings, where they're expected to hand over a memorandum of their grievances, calling for President Ramaphosa to intervene. But I don't want to waste much time, Jeremy. I want to bring in Aubrey Chabalala, who is the General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union. Let's start here. First of all, tomorrow you are taking to the streets. What are some of your demands?
Well, some of our demands is to completely reject the turnaround strategy, as it has impact on actually taking SABC away from its public mandate, and also removing permanent jobs with freelancers, which is eroding the quality of jobs. And those are some of the demands that we'll put. But most importantly, we are going to call to the President to actually dissolve the board, put SABC under administration, so that we can be able to turn things around here.
Okay, in terms of retrenchments, of course, this is what this particular strike will be about. So what is your position on that? Are you still saying that you don't want to see any retrenchments here at the SABC?
Absolutely, don't want to see any retrenchment, most probably now, because we have been presented with a structure that has no clear indication how it will save cost. Instead, with this retrenchment, there will be more outsourcing happening, meaning that the SABC will spend much more to get content into SABC as it stands now. So this is not a solution to take SABC away from its financial woes, but is to deepen the crisis.
In terms of negotiations, I know that there have been quite a lot of negotiations between the unions as well as management, but of course they haven't quite given you the results that you were looking for. How is that going? Have you tried to engage management at all in terms of this retrenchment process?
Well, I can say, sum it up, SABC has not engaged in this matter on good faith. In November, it said that it's aiming to retrench 400. We have established during the extended period that they actually issued letters to more than 800 people. This time around, we've requested them to give us a list of those who are affected, which they say is 303. They've not provided that list because they know they are aiming to get even more workers into that list so that they can retrench more workers.
And in terms of those letters, we know that some of the staff members have already received some of those retrenchment letters. In terms of what the staff are saying, you're not able at this time to say how many exactly are affected.
It's very difficult. Remember, we CWU looking at our members. There's BEMAWU that has its own members. There's also non-unionized. And but the point that I can tell you is that people who did not receive letters in November are beginning to receive letters even now, even after the management have announced that they've concluded the structure. But since Monday, they've been issuing letters, meaning that it's an ongoing process.
And in terms of this particular strike, how will it take form or shape, given the fact that we are under COVID-19 lockdown 3 of those regulations? So what's the plan?
We'll use different tactics because we don't want to spread the virus ourselves. Tomorrow we should have been marching. It was under normal circumstances, but it's a motorcade to Union Building where we'll be handing over the memorandum. All other regions will be on stay away. When we come back on Thursday, there will be a go slow and a work to rule. And on Friday, between 11 till 2 o'clock, we'll have a completely shut down at SABC, whilst the go slow will be continued. So later on Friday, we'll announce on how the next days will unfold.
And in terms of the strike action, how long is that going to take place for?
The strike action, actually the industrial action, is indefinite up until our demands are met. We anticipate that the President will intervene as soon as possible because this is an urgent matter.
And in terms of your members that you've spoken to, how are they feeling about these retrenchments? What's the general sense and the mood among some of the workers?
They are demoralized, a general sense of feeling that they are not appreciated with all the efforts that they've been putting into the SABC. Some of them is actually scarce skills, where in such a situation that without them some of the production won't go on. But SABC management is completely not aware of such. They just want to go ahead, outsource, and make sure that their friends who are standing on the side wings benefit out of this process.
And in terms of the strike, the SABC is saying that the no work, no pay policy will apply. Are workers protected?
Workers are fully protected. It's a principle of no work, no pay, but it's meaningless because you can save the no work, no pay today, but SABC is saying there will be a permanent no work, no pay from March. So it's better to fight to defeat that permanent no work, no pay right now. So it's a compromise and sacrifice we can make on these few days, but we need to intensify our strike. We need to see SABC shut down so that we can be able to hear them responding to our demands.
Okay, thank you very much, Aubrey Shabalala, who is the General Secretary of the Communication Workers Union, of course, saying that the strike action goes ahead tomorrow, Jeremy, as planned. They will be driving to the union building. But beyond that, they're saying that the strike will continue indefinitely as they try to save those hundreds of jobs here at the SABC.